Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Mariam Wazizada. I'm one of the managing partners of Franklin Pakistan. Yet again, we're here with you with an exciting interview. And we are very happy to introduce a lady who has definitely broken the bias. With her steely determination and passion, she has definitely broken the bias. We are interviewing one of the highest ranking female officers in the police service of Pakistan. She's the first woman to reach the flag rank. And as she climbed up the ladder, she really caught up, and she was the first additional Inspector General in 2019. So we really wanted to take this opportunity to have a chat with her. She is, this is a moment of pride for all women and for Pakistani, the police force as well, to be the first woman to be there who's, and by the way, she's from Balochistan, and she's not just touched the ceiling glass, she's broken through it. So let's see how she did this, and what it takes to get up there and to reach up there, and especially when you're in a man's job. So over to Helena. Helena, thank you so much for taking our time. And आपकी credentials or accolades आपने खुद बताने, but I really want to have this heart-to-heart conversation with you where we can see your journey. We want to understand and explore the trials and tribulations, and not that, and even the celebrations and the what you have achieved and the journey and what it takes to break the bias. So मुझे ये बताएं, why police? Why did you choose police, and how did that come about, and how did you decide this as a career?
Mariam, thank you very much for that very long introduction. And my question to you is, why not the police?
Good question.
Why do we limit ourselves?
Yeah,
you see, we ourselves are the victims of societal construct. I don't adhere to any societal construct as such. I make my own. So that's why not the police?
So there is this unconscious bias where, especially in Pakistan, where we feel, oh, there's certain jobs which are just for men. And you're right, why not the police? So tell me, when you did reach that, and not just that level, but as you were progressing, how was it around in your workplace, and how was it with your fellow colleagues? How were they taking this, and how did they accept this?
Mariam, it wasn't easy. What you're asking me to is encapsulate 30 odd years of experience in a very short time. It's not possible to do justice to that. What I am going to tell you briefly, that it was challenging. It was a man's world throughout. And here I just, landed in a predominantly male domain, and very zealously guarded as such. But I think the advantage for me was that I was brought up in a household where I was never made to realize that there are any divisions in society. I stepped into society, into practical life, without knowing that there are divisions. That helped a lot. I was never taught that I could not do this. My brother, I just have another brother. My brother and I were treated very equally. So I never thought of it twice whether I could do it or not. If somebody else could do it, why couldn't I? And temperamentally, I was very suited to the police service. I must tell you that as well. It's not a drawing room job. It's a very difficult job, and especially we get to deal with the criminal element in society, which is not easy, especially for them to, accept women in a position of authority. Yes, and to acknowledge them, that is quite a big challenge. But Alhamdulillah, I sort of got through the challenge without actually realizing what is that I was doing by default. So I also became a catalyst for change. I opened the doors for a lot of young women who have now joined the police service. There was no bar. Yes, there was no bar, but people had not, opted for it. And here I came along and I said, I had certain circumstances. My late husband was in the police and he died in an encounter. And then I thought to myself, well, if he could do it, why not me? And then I just sort of, I actually I simplify complex situations. To me, they're very easy. Obviously, not to the other person. But then, Alhamdulillah, after a lot of negotiations, I did get police.
Mm,
It was a lot of first for me. Women
mm.
were not used to, men also, the society was not used to seeing women, especially at the police station level where there were hardened criminals I had to come across.
Mm.
But I think eventually it all turned out to be good because now, mashallah, there are a lot of young girls who have joined the police service. And I think in a country like ours, and not just ours, many developing countries require in their workforce both men and women. Let's just not limit our progress to men.
Mm. Absolutely. And I think what you've said is it's true, not for just the police, but the nurturing starts from the home. And I think this is a great message for a lot of young parents and parents who are rearing children in this environment today, where you have to give your child that option and understand कि ये काम सिर्फ boys के लिए नहीं और ये काम सिर्फ girls के लिए नहीं है. But if you get that kind of nurturing at home, it becomes easier for you to make those choices. And I think that's a great message for young parents out there. Um, but were there any situations where you felt that बस हो गई है ये मैं इनकी बातें सुन के बहुत तंग आ गई हूँ और इनके reactions, if it
Many
was
times.
derogatory or challenges, how did you get yourself over that? Because that is something we would also like, because along the way as human beings we do get demotivated, and especially as women, because we hear and see so much that's going around us. How did you get over those moments, especially when it was
No,
coming from
yes,
colleagues?
there were many times, and I did feel demotivated, but God has been kind by His grace. I persevered, and then I had paid a very big price for this service. To me, it is a career. It is somewhere. It's not just because at the end of the day, we all have to give back to society. We will be questioned. What did we do with our lives? And our lives need to impact other lives as well. I firmly believe in that. And then I did, and I just sort of struggled along the way. It's not easy because I was a mother, I was a wife. These are all 24/7 jobs.
Absolutely.
And
You just
policing
can't.
is 24/7. At the end, you do tend to forget yourself, which I'm learning now to reconnect with myself and to review societal constructs and to regain boundaries. So there's a paradigm shift in each age or era of your life. So you need to reinvent yourself in order to align yourself with that paradigm shift.
I just want to expand a little bit about what you just said, regaining boundaries. Is that with respect of being a wife and a mother, and everyone expecting you to be there and always be there for them, and
Yes,
not really getting anything, or not getting the same in return, where you are a person, you're a woman, you're an
yes,
individual, you need your me time as well. So is that what you meant by regaining?
yes, 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 yes.
Great.
And that
So
also works in regards to others as well. You have to draw boundaries.
hmm, true.
That's
Yes,
meant
I
to
think
women across Pakistan, across the world as well. We need to have our boundaries. We need to generally in the Asian countries, women tend to put themselves last. I don't know. Maybe it's our conditioning is such that we will put our homes, our children, the other problems, and then put ourselves at the end, and we don't have the energy at the end of the day to deal with ourselves.
true. Um, and it's women of steel like yourselves who have to, keep on you keep on going on. Just so the support that you get, because you've just explained that you're at home, starting from your own parents and your family, you got that kind of, there was no difference between you and your brother. Did you get that kind of support, or did you feel that you had to justify it? How was, because a lot of times, why I'm asking this question specifically is because a lot of women, a lot of young girls, and who we also meet in a lot of professions, really want to make a difference and they want to contribute something. But the first thing that comes to their mind is, oh, I don't know if my family will support me. And what kind of a message would you like to give to those girls or such girls who really want to make a difference, but feel that they're not getting that support, or so they think, and maybe they don't even approach those, moments and those opportunities. They just brush it under the carpet.
You know, when you introduce me and say these things, I don't think of myself in these terms. Number one, I just did what I wanted to, and this is just a result of all that by you talking to me and introducing me. I really don't think of myself in those terms. I'm just me to myself. That's it. And when I started, it was a very difficult journey. Let me tell you that when people used to look at me in uniform, they just saw the uniform. They did not see the struggle, the sacrifice behind that piece or that garment. It entails a lot. Having said so, I would have persevered without any support. And believe me, I did not get as much support as I wanted to, as I would have liked to, but that really didn't make any difference. I just carried forward.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
so
you,
you just have to forge on. Don't, and we also like to play the victim card ourselves. This is another problem we have.
that is the next question I was going to just approach, and that's a great segue. So, do you think that women, because we have been reared or protected, or we've been given this rhetoric that you're girls, you can't do this, do you think that girls use this or use the victim card when it's convenient, and or what kind of a message would you like to give out for such girls, because then they do spoil it for the other ones who are truly trying to make a difference and really work and swim against such a strong tide that is coming their way, be it in forms of a form of their parents, their children, their husbands, their in-laws, or society per se. So what would you like to say about that, or to such women who might be watching?
People who have made a difference in society really don't, they just follow their own path. And then God helps, obviously. You know that we will be judged on our intentions, and God does help, believe me. And for the women, I think it's not nice to blame men all the time. You know, when they say, I've come across many women who will say, yeah, we want to do this, but our husband, but then your husband never stop you from going and spending hours in the market. If you're spending hours for this frivolous activity, you could have done something substantial with your time. So I don't think it is fair to blame men all the time. Sometimes they do, they are to blame, but not all the time. Let's not generalize this. And if you wanted something badly, you would go after it.
My next question was relating to this. Do you think it's because women fear, or they haven't the right support in terms of how and what to do, how to go out there and put themselves out there, what platforms or who to look up to, because there are very few idols or very few mentors or guides who can help women to make such a big step. And you're right, you can balance it. You can do your shopping, you can do your cooking, you can take care of children, but at the same time, you can make a career as well. So would it be more of fear you feel, or is it going to be just because that they or they haven't, or they don't have a mission maybe, or a passion, or is there something? What can we give our youth and our girls who are growing up and going to make, who are going to hopefully succeed one day in Pakistan?
Society and media can play a very positive role. Morning programs are a very big way of reaching people at the grassroots level. You can teach them career counseling, what avenues they have to follow. I would welcome any person who would want to contact me to advise them on their careers, After all, whatever we have, it is a number of years of experience. We might not be tech savvy, or we might not be with it the of the requirements of these current times, but we have a lot of experience with us.
Of course, absolutely. So, what kind of a message would you be like to giving to parents or people who would like to be, considering or would should consider putting their daughters in the police force? Um,
It's a career. It requires a lot of
I've made the
commitment.
question short.
Thank you. Thank you. Don't approach any profession if you cannot commit to it completely. It's very difficult because it's 24/7. It's not easy. So I'm not just going to say, all right, oh, please come along and join the police. No, do whatever you feel that you can do, and do it to the best of your ability. There is no
Mhm.
shortcut to hard work. Please don't find, to the young people, to the young generation, no shortcuts to hard work. Please try and be substantial. Uh, get some depth on the inside. There is a lot of emphasis on fixing our outsides when the inside is absolutely empty. So we need to make ourselves substantial. We need to gain depth, to gain perspective, especially these days when there is such a lot of stuff happening around us. We have COVID, which has changed a lot of perspectives,
Mm,
which has been a total paradigm shift
absolutely.
and has forced us into retrospection,
One
into
that we were
reviewing
forced.
our belief, yes, our belief systems. And if only the people with,
Mm.
well, there are two categories. People with strong beliefs have gained something more, and the ones who were the same before are still going on without any problems.
And I think in this period, the women really faced the brunt of it, especially working ladies who had children studying from home and who had to work from home and who had to balance that. And I think this is something of a shout out for all those women in the COVID period who had to completely not just change their paradigm shift,
Yes,
but
domestic
physically, mentally.
crime also increased within this period because the perpetrators were home 24/7.
And the frustration level, and I think it's very unfortunate. A lot of cases, a lot of case studies that we have also read up on recently. It's staggering to hear how being in that close vicinity, being caged up, how
Yes.
we do turn into animals sometimes. And I think you being in this profession, you must have heard or seen or experienced
Yes.
how that has impacted, especially the our gender. Any message you would like to give out to the young girls, or especially हमारी जो बहुत सी लड़कियां हैं जो do want to make a difference. I have a lot of girls who work with us who have not even educated, but they see what's happening around, and because of the social media, they are so well versed with what's happening. They know about TikTok, they know about social media. They might not know so much about Facebook, but even the different strata, they want to be educated. They wanted to. They get so upset that the parents haven't educated them. But even the educated ones, what kind of a message would you like to give out to the young girls of Pakistan?
My message is just hard work, dedication, and hard work. There is absolutely no substitute to that.
No
There is no
shortcut.
formula. Yes, there's no formula to replace it. So if you
There's
don't
no
want
fault.
to work hard, you don't want commitment, then I don't know what. Probably you can do something. Just sit at home, which is you're better off sitting at home.
Then you can be dependent, but then you live by somebody else's rules. Then you can't complain. That's the problem.
It's not fair, also, Mariam, just to put all the pressure on a single male breadwinner. Why? If you can
Yeah.
help him out, why not?
Yes, why not?
Why
I think
not?
अब तो दौर ही ऐसा है, मुश्किल इतनी है, इन्फ्लेशन इतनी है कि हमें there has to be support from all ends. No, Helena, I think it is so inspiring. I was reading up about you, and of course, I've heard so much about you from people and your colleagues or your contemporaries that it is. And it's so inspiring because you are the one who is not just making a difference here in Pakistan, but for Pakistan. You're representing Pakistan. Could you tell us a little bit about that as well?
Yeah, I am the police commissioner in the UNITAM's mission in Sudan. Yes, because Sudan is now going through transition towards democracy. Unfortunately, we've had some hiccups there, but our job is to give capacity building training to the police force in Sudan.
Fantastic. I mean, we're so proud the fact that you are representing your country outside Pakistan, and there is no ceiling technically. You create your own ceiling. So I mean, I don't know who's setting the ceiling. You don't need to break it. You need to just
it's the
keep
first for
on
Pakistan as
enhancing
well.
it. Yeah.
Yes, because we've never
Yes.
had a woman police officer. In fact, there woman police commissioner. I think there are 3 so far in the United Nations. Me being one of them. Now probably there are more because some more have joined. And it was not easy because I'm coming towards the end of my service and getting out of my comfort zone. I wanted to try this. It is a huge learning curve. And I wanted to also rate my abilities on an international forum, not just at home.
I think that's great because आपने देखे एक और बड़ी खूबसूरत बात की कि it never ends. It never ends. You're challenging yourself. And I'm sure that even when you do end your service, you're still not going to stop. You're going to be doing something or the other where you're going to be creating some great, and we do wish you that you do, because आप जैसे लोगों को देख के हमें भी बहुत हौसला मिलता है और excitement मिलती है, और हम, for not just as a Pakistani, but as a woman as well. Because whenever I go and address different students, or when I go and talk to, I used to teach it once upon a time, but now also when I go and talk to them, when I kind of just tend to look at the girls because there's so much hope for them, but sometimes they can't see it. And I hope that we can show it to them. And it's about that little contribution. You start with something small, and like you said, you find your way through it. You don't know that you're going to do something big, but it's along the way you realize all that you've done. When you add that up together, it becomes something big. So it's the little things you do. When it adds up, it becomes a great contribution. And thank you, Helena. आपने इतना time निकाला, बहुत दूर बैठी हुई हैं, और बहुत शुक्रिया. It's inspiring, and you have been fantastic. You are somebody who we all need to look up to, and I think it is time that we break the bias and challenge our mindsets and find that leader within us and bring them out, because you can be a leader in any sphere, and you don't need to be doing something completely different, but wherever you are, you can really make a difference and contribute. Thank you.
I don't know, Mariam. I don't understand glass ceilings. I don't understand biases. So that's good for me.
Okay. All right. Yes. Your own opinion. Yes. Okay. Great. Because you've done it so well. You've done it so well.
But that's the only way I knew how to do it. So I quite really, people have come up to me and said कि आपको कैसा लगता है मर्दों के साथ काम करने? तो मैंने कहा आप मर्दों से क्यों नहीं पूछते उन्हें कैसा लगता है मेरे साथ काम करने? मुझे तो कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता कि मर्द हैं या औरत है. It really doesn't make any difference to me.
जेंडर जो है ना, ये बस हम इसको एक एक्सक्यूज बना देते हैं, बट आई थिंक आप मर्द हो या आदमी या औरत हो, काम होता है, प्रोफेशनल होना आता है, and that's it. Thank you so much.
Our women need some professionalism training also to be more professional. We lack that sometimes. Most of the time, actually. Yeah.
We'll make a note of that. Okay जी, खुदा हाफिज. बहुत शुक्रिया.
आपका भी शुक्रिया. Okay.